Russia carried out a massive missile strike all over the territories of Ukraine in the early hours of this morning and late last night. Today, the 25th of November 2025. The capital city of Ukraine was heavily hammered in that attack that was launched by Russia. A few days ago, Donald Trump, the President of the United States, asked a very simple, straightforward question. Is Ukraine and Russia ready to end this war and to allow peace to return to European territory? Trump said he would wait for the response of both countries on or before the 27th of November 2025. The winning party or the winning side responded positively with caution that they welcome this idea from Donald Trump and this could form a basis for talks to start. But the losing side have been reluctant and they are trying to dictate terms even though they are losing. Instead of embracing this opportunity and use it or take advantage of it to end the war, they decided to start dictating terms to the winning side in this conflict. Instead of accepting the term and start negotiating, Zelensky traveled all around Europe to gather support from his European friends to continue to support him in this war against Russia, just in case the United States actually stopped supporting Ukraine, because Donald Trump threatened if Zelensky does not give a green light to that 28-point peace plan, United States will cut Ukraine off. So Zelensky is traveling all around Europe to check if European leaders would continue to support him if Donald Trump drops him or stops all support for Ukraine. Then they systematically said no to Donald Trump's 28-point peace plan by putting forward their own counter 28-point peace plan to be looked at. Instead of looking at the one Donald Trump gave them, they decided to put forward their own adjusted 28-point peace plan. Zelensky kind of became more confident after he secured the support of the EU leaders. And yesterday, the 24th of November, after he returned back to Ukraine, Ukraine openly rejected Donald Trump's peace plan, that this war will only end when Ukraine takes back Crimea and also take back all the current occupied territories from Russia. That is when this war is going to end. That statement was made by the only legally recognized person in Ukraine, the Speaker of the Ukrainian Parliament. Rather, that's what they call the Ukrainian Parliament. The man, his statement is much legally binding than that of Zelensky as far as the Russian is concerned, because he is the only legally elected person in Ukraine. Right now, Russia only recognized the leader of the Ukrainian parliament as the only person that can hold or sign any legally binding agreement. So, it is the law in Ukraine as far as Russia is concerned. That man is the only legal leader Ukraine has as far as Russia is concerned. His words, his statement are more legally binding than that of Zelensky. Zelensky is just a figure or a leading figure, but legally he has no right to be where he is right now. He should have stepped down a long time ago. So this guy is the only person Russia see as the legally recognized person in Ukraine. So his statement yesterday was seen as a rejection of the proposal as far as Russia is concerned. After that statement from the leader of Ukrainian parliament, Russia decided not to waste any more time, since the answer was clear enough. Russia responded to the counter peace plan that was pushed forward by the European leaders. I already told you these men don't mean well for Ukraine, because if they do, they should have, or they would have, embraced this opportunity to start talking to end this war. Russia will start using more force and more firepower on Ukraine, knowing that Ukraine is not ready for peace. Ukraine is not ready to, I don't even know what the word to use, because it's really confusing how somebody that is being beaten down seems not to understand that there comes a point where you wave the white flag, you throw the towel in and say, you know what, I give up. But it looked like Zelensky and his people in the EU are not ready for the war to end. And we can only feel sorry for the ordinary Ukrainian citizens that are taking the hit. Heavy drone and missiles attack was launched all over the territories of Ukraine. The capital city was mostly bombarded by Russia in the early hours of this morning. Nearly 90% of the attack that was launched went into the capital city of Ukraine. Russia used a total of 486 missiles and drones in that attack. This was according to the claim made by Zelensky. But strange enough, no attack map was published. Normally, they will publish the route of travel of missiles and drones to show us what cities were attacked by Russia the most. But today, they didn't publish one. And from the word on the ground, Russia attacked the capital city heavily. This is what we're getting from pro-Ukrainian analysts and news stations and also citizens of Ukraine. There are videos published online by Ukrainian citizens showing heavy explosions taking place in the capital city. 464 various types of drones was used in that attack, and another 20 various types of missiles were used in that attack. The logistic hub in the capital city, in Kyiv, was destroyed by Russia in that attack this morning. There's a video and picture, the videos are all online and the picture online, and the logistic hub was reduced completely to ruin. And I don't think any living thing would have survived the heat in that. Looking at how bad that complex was damaged, I don't think any living thing would have survived. It was a huge logistic hub, massive building. And I doubt it was only it was only the heat from Russian missiles that did all of that damage. I doubt it. I suspect there would have been some level of secondary detonation from the weapons and ammunition that was stored in that logistic hub. That contributed to the damage that took place there, because the entire area, not just the building, every single building around that logistic hub were gone. So I don't want to believe it was just the heat from Russian missile or drones that did those damage. I suspect there would have been some level of secondary detonation from the ammunition and missiles or whatever they've stored in those buildings. Ukraine, on the other hand, NATO, at the same time attacked the southern part of Russian Federation, precisely the city of Novartis and the city of Krasnodar in the southern part of Russia. Drones, about 4 or 5 drones went through and it attacked civilian buildings. I can only say this based on the video I saw. They were all caught on video hitting civilian buildings. Maybe air defense system struck them and they lost control. Maybe the drone lost track and went into civilian buildings. I couldn't tell you, but all the 4 to 5 videos that were shown of Ukrainian drones. They were all attacking, or not attacking, let me not use the word attacking. They were all striking civilian buildings. I think the Ukrainian NATO were trying to attack Russian ship because a few Russian ships that launched cruise missiles into Ukraine, with the attack that took place last night and this morning, they were stationed in the Novartis Sea, just by the Black Sea. And there are videos showing how those ships were launching the cruise missiles. So I suspect NATO were trying to hit those ships that were stationed in those locations. And God knows, something went wrong and the drone lost track and they were hitting civilian buildings. A very interesting video was published in the Krasnodar region of Russia this morning, showing a laser weapon activated. And this is the first time we've seen it throughout this war or in any other war at all. The laser showed a thick blue light literally blaring up to the sky, and you could see it moving, and it was bringing down Ukrainian drones. Though those drones were shot down, they still caused damage. They drop down and still explode. Those are the characteristics of the drones. Even though you shoot them down, they will still drop and cause damage. I'm just trying to get more information into that weapon. We don't know what it is called, but every weapon analyst out there are talking about it. Massive blue thick ray of light blaring up to the sky, and you could say looking for the drone. The moment it captured one, it stays on it and the drone drops down to the ground. If I get more update on those, I will update you guys. Russia also attacked the Odessa seaport and they destroyed, apparently they brought some new power plant into the region to try to install, and the old ones that were destroyed are being fixed. Russia destroyed 4 of them in the attack that took place this morning. Odessa is still in blackout. There was something weird about the attack that was launched late last night and this morning, and both sides had not provided much pictures or videos like they normally do. So for me, it seemed like they're trying to hide something from all of us. Though the Russian side provided a few videos and a few pictures, but the Ukrainian side had provided absolutely nothing, which is really weird, which is really odd. All we got from the Ukrainian side is the regular stuff we always get, showing civilian casualties, civilian buildings that got hit, and condemning Russia for the attack. But on the real, what was destroyed, what was attacked, they will never tell you that. And the fact that they did not publish the attack map today for the first time, that is really bizarre. But let's wait. Maybe later in the day they will publish. But as at the time I was making this video, there was no such thing published in the news yet. Let me round up very quickly. Ukrainian security chief this morning, in the last maybe 10 or 15 minutes, said he is hoping to arrange a meeting, an urgent meeting between Zelensky and Russia and the United States. But Zelensky is due to fly to United States at some point this week to go and speak to Donald Trump. Well, is he going there to go and finalize the deal? We don't know. Is he going there to go and present the adjusted deal by the EU to Donald Trump? We don't know, but he is due to travel to the United States at some point this week. Meanwhile, the United States had also confirmed that their official are set to meet Russian representative in Abu Dhabi as part of the effort to end this war in Ukraine. For me, I'm beginning to get tired of these people meeting all the time because they already have a plan. They already know what they need to do. But they are just kind of playing everybody. This is all politics. I say this every single time in nearly all my videos. What we're expecting, right, or what expecting. Jesus Christ. What we're experiencing right now is all formalities. The real deal, the real agreement had been made. Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin are just playing every single one of us. But one thing I know for a fact and for sure is that that adjusted 28-point peace plan from the EU will not even be taken into consideration. So, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. One day we are hopeful. I said this. I said, don't bank on anything you hear until it starts to happen. 1 minute we are hopeful that things are going to change, and then the next minute we are back to square zero. Right? 1 minute there's a deal, being drafted. The next minute, missiles and drones are still flying. Now, let's be honest, right? Since Donald Trump put this 28-point peace plan forward, Russia had stopped bombarding Ukraine, didn't they? Though the battlefront continued, the fighting in the battlefront and contact line continues, obviously. But Russia did not launch any wave of missiles or drones, right? For a good few days, which means everything was on standstill. Russia respected the diplomatic approach. But when Europe stepped in and said no, and then when the Ukrainian parliament leader said no, Russia decided to resume their bombardment. And they are going to continue. Well, I can only suspect that Russia would now increase the pressure on Ukraine. But ladies and gentlemen, who do we blame for all of this? Let me know in the comment section. And if I have missed anything that you think you know, by the time you're watching this video, new update would have come up. Please talk about it in the comment section.